Hey kiddos, well, we've been having technical difficulty this morning, so I've had to redo the intro to this video. So hopefully we're going to get right to the projects. I will list all the girls' channels down below that are in this collab with me together today. Let's see if we can get this video going. I hope you enjoy the projects. All right, kiddos, so we're going to need 4 of these boards that I got from Dollar Tree, and you're going to need some of them giant popsicle sticks. And I know you've seen people put these together, so I'm not going to explain that to you. It's pretty easy. You just line them up really good so that they're all square. So if you don't get them lined up good, it ain't going to work for you. They're not going to put together right. You're going to be frustrated. So make sure you line them up good. I did have a few cracks because these boards, I don't know if you've ever put 2 of these signs together. Neither one of them got a square edge. So anyway, so when I flip the sign over, then I'm putting some bathroom caulking on these cracks, and I'm going to take that popsicle stick here in a minute, and I'm going to scrape off the excess, and then I'm going to take a baby wipe and clean it up. Now, you could have took a wet wipe. Caulking cleans up before it dries. It'll clean up with water. So just make sure you scrape off the excess and get it in the cracks pretty good, and then wipe it off with a wet rag or a baby wipe, which is what I had on hand. And then I'm just going to dry it so that I could get it, get to working on it faster so I could paint the thing. I was just like, come on, let's dry. I got to get this thing going. So got all that done. Then I put that Waverly white chalk paint on there, and that's just that bright white. I'm addicted to it, y'all know. So I just give it a couple of coats because it took 2 coats to coat it because I didn't pay good attention. Now I got me some of this green moss from the Hobby Lobby, and I just put it in a smaller bag. But I put my weed in my bag, as I say. Anyways, so that I can keep it under my desk. Now I got these flower pots and flowers from Hobby Lobby also. They're a little tiny pot. I bet the top of them not much bigger around than a quarter, and the bottom's smaller than that. So I put my little floral foam in there, and then I cover it with that green moss, and then you just cut that stuff because it's messy as far. Let me tell you, you put the hot glue on top of there, and then you can see where I just took it over and mashed it up on some of that moss because it was picking, it picked it up. And I poked me a hole in there, and then just because I used one of them skewers to poke a hole, and then I put my flower down in the hole so that because you can't just poke through there, because when I pulled the flowers off, I got the soft part. There wasn't no wire in it. If it had wire in it, it went down in there, but it was soft, so I had to poke my own hole, which, it happens. So this little boxwood is that stuff from Walmart that I'm addicted to. Ooh, look how pretty. Anyways, so these would make, too, even if you didn't make this sign, you could put these on your tiered trays, and they'd be awesome. So I got them little Barbie chairs from which I'm probably not supposed to say Barbie, but anyway, doll chairs from the Dollar Tree, and I just measure them out, how many I want on the sign, and then I had to just drill little test holes where the chairs were because I couldn't find anything thin enough to go down in there and mark. And so I just used my drill bit, and they worked pretty good. So, and then I drill all the holes, 2 for each chair, and then I take the paddle wire. Now, paddle wire is what you use for flowers and when you do flower arrangements and wreaths and things like that. It's just a really thin gauge wire, and I didn't have any white, so I used silver, and I wired those chairs on there after I measured, of course. I mean, it might not have been perfect, but you know me with the measuring. Anyways, it was close, so I was happy. And then I just wire it on. And then I cut it off the excess and flip it back around. I hadn't covered this board yet because if I had, then I'd have just been drilling holes back through it. So it was a good thing I didn't do it. Sometimes when you're doing a craft, you don't got it thought out all the way. So that's why I tend to wait to cover the backs of my stuff. You probably don't ever see the back. Sometimes I cover them and sometimes I don't. It depends on if I'm planning on selling it, giving it away, or using it myself. If I'm going to use it myself and it's a sign and it goes up on the wall, I'm not going to cover it. But now if it's for somebody else, I'll cover it up. Now, to glue those flower pots on, I use this Total Tech glue that I got from my friend Christy over at Christy Creates. She gave it to me, and I'm going to tell you, I like this stuff. It dries really fast. I think within an hour it was completely dry. I'm sold on it. So I glued all them flower pots to them chairs in the middle. I first thought about cutting it out, and you know how they make the little chair where they cut the hole out and then they put the flower pot in there. I first was going to do that, and I thought I'll never get them holes straight, so I left it on top, and I thought it turned out cute. Now I'm making me some beaded handles for the sides. I don't know why, because it's a sign that hangs on the wall, but I made beaded handles for the sides because there's those giant holes in there, and I just didn't figure I could cover it up good. I think tassels would have been pretty in that too. Now this font I got from DeFont. I cut this out, of course, on my Cricut, and it's just vinyl. You know, y'all could print it out on copy paper and then decoupage it on. I always, you know, I forget to tell you guys you could do that. I meant to say that a couple of times ago. You know, there's always that. You could also use stickers. You could take some graphic paper or graph paper and set behind there and trace it out after you know, write it out. You know, you not write it out, you print it out on your printer, trace it out with the graphic paper. But, you know, there's all kinds of ways to do lettering. I know I've had several questions about that. I don't ever show it because I do have a Cricut, and I enjoy using my Cricut. So it just makes everything faster for me, because I couldn't paint that to save my life. But, I mean, I'd make solid ones. Now, here it is. I got it on my back porch. I haven't actually, I was going to put it on my front porch, but I got to looking out there, and it's on vinyl signing. So what y'all think about it, tell me in your comments below. All right, so this one is going to be a thrift flip, and I got it from the Goodwill for 99 cents. It looked like it had boogers all over it. Looked like somebody blowed snot right on it. It was disgusting. Anyway, I shouldn't even said that. Oh, well, y'all know me. So, I'm going to take this sisal rope that, I don't think, I'm going to call it sisal rope. It came from the Dollar Tree, and I think I needed 4 of them. Might have been 6, but I'm pretty sure it was 4. Of course, you're not going to find the same mirror, but so it'll just take different lengths for however much your mirror is. But this one took 4 to 6. That's all I'm going to say about that. So what I did was I hot glued it all the way around. Since this thing is like a plastic, that hot glue, you know my gun, it gets pretty hot. It adhered really well. I thought it's going to pop back off. It didn't. It stayed. So what I do is I cut it I don't just keep wrapping it, because I wanted all the ends to wind up on one corner, and I wanted to be able to cover the ends. So that's why I did it where it wound around to each corner and stopped, so then I could cover it with this more rope. So I take about a 6-inch section, and I unravel, I think it was 2 pieces of 6-inch. It might have been 1 of each 6-inch. I did this a few days ago, and I slept since then. So see how I unraveled it, and then I hot glued it on the inside, pointing down, and then I folded it back over itself so you couldn't see the hot glue as well. Y'all getting a good shot of my tripod thing. Anyway, well, I guess it's not a tripod. Yeah, I guess it is. Okay. Anyways, then I'm going to hot glue it down. I know you're having trouble seeing that there, but then I use my little clippies from the Dollar Tree, and I just hold it down there because it didn't have a whole lot of hold. Now I'm cutting fringe that I'm going to make all the way around this thing. So I cut me a ton of rope, 3 inches long, and then I unravel it. You'll get to see part of that. Now, I've lost the footage where I actually did most of the fringe on here, which was aggravating. Oh, that aggravates me. But anyways, I hot glued all the fringe on there. As you can see, I left the last little bit of rope around the bottom of it so that I could cover the ends when I hot glued this fringe on the edge of it. So I'm just, as you can see, I'm just putting it on there, and then I hot glue, and it's just like this took forever. But it got the desired look that I want. I am actually copying off of another, I found it on It was a mirror that I found online that was like $268. Now, this mirror, of course, was twice as big as this thing, but I still redid this whole thing for less than $6. And I mean, it is half the size, but it got the same exact look. And so I am going to try this with a bigger mirror for one of my walls. But this one was, of course, just my test one, basically, is what it is. But so I glued the fringe on, and then I'm going to go with my last piece of rope over the top of it. Now, I'm trying to get my ends perfect together. So, I don't know. I just like it to be, I don't want it to overlap. I want it to be just right. So that was the biggest ordeal with this. Now, here it is hanging on the wall. This isn't where I'm going to keep it, but this, so I could show it. I thought this would be cute. I think I'm going to put this in my spare bedroom on one little wall, so my guests have a good mirror. All right, guys, you're going to need 3 of these big, long love signs. Now, you could have used the ones from Easter, too. I think they're about the same size, but these had shiplap lines in them. And so you just take this paper off, because on these, the paper just came right off. And I wanted the paper to come off because I wanted to use the shiplap lines. Now, I also got those metal clipboards, and I got them from Hobby Lobby. I know you saw where I showed you the tag. I think they were like $7. They were on sale for 40% off. You know me, not gonna buy it if it ain't on sale. So then I use my heat gun and my flat spatula from Cricut, and I take all the leftover residue, which was pretty much just glue. Once it was heated up, that stuff just kind of gooed off there. I do have to sand a little bit of it on one of them, I think. Yeah, there you go. And but it come right off. Once you paint it, you never see it. So I'm going to take these paint sticks. They're the giant ones that I got from Hobby Lobby, or not Hobby Lobby, Home Depot. And then I'm going to, I'm measuring to make sure that I got my sticks in the right place so that when I hot glue on, they're evenly spaced behind there. So I glue all 3 signs on. And I am only using hot glue on the front because when I flip it over on the back, I am going to use the E6000 with a partial paint stick and hot glue to give it that permanent hold and a fast hold so that I can move the sign around while I'm working on it. Now, there was grooves in those signs. Again, those signs don't always come out perfect. You'd think it'd be a mold or something because, but I guess it don't always come out the same way. I'm not real sure. Now, these had these little easels on the back, so they kind of stuck up. So I had to have something that I could hot glue down and E6000, I used both, to my sign. So I cut those popsicle sticks out and doubled them up, and that made a big enough stop on the back of it to glue to the sign. Now, I'm just going to take that ink from Waverly Chalk Paint, and I'm going to paint the front of the sign black. Now, I do go back and later on take a sanding block and rough up all the edges so that wood kind of shows through, and it turned out really cute. The Gather sign was back from fall. My friend Christy gave me this, and I just painted some red because this is going in my kitchen, and my kitchen is black and red, as y'all know. So I paint it red, and then I'm going to sand it down. You're not going to see it, but you can see it in the end. It really does have a worn look on it, and I was just trying to give it that, farmhouse, worn out look, I guess is what I call it. I don't know. Anyway, so there I go sanding the black off. Now get the edges like I want them, and then I'm going to, you're going to see that I even did the inside. You can see where I've scraped along those lines and give it more definition. Then I take I'm just doing placement right there, but I'm umming today a lot. I hate that, but anyway, I apologize. So I'm going to put the E6000 on there and hot glue, and I'm going to measure out exactly where I want them. So I'm trying to get the 2 outside ones even, and then the middle I can kind of eyeball it. I'm an eyeballer. I don't know if y'all know what that means, but that means I I can look and pretty much get it as close as I'm going to. Again, with the E6000 on the gather, and then I put the hot glue on there, and then I place it up at the top. Now, I'm going to go and, ooh, yeah, mushy, mushy. I'm going to, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm drilling holes. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to drill the holes so that I can attach the rope at the top. And I did a pretty big drill bit. I don't even remember the size of that drill bit, but I wanted it to be big enough that I could put rope through it. So it's probably I don't know. I'm not going to say 1/2 inch, but it might be. I don't think they make a 1/2 inch drill bit, so that would be a pretty big drill bit. I'm not sure which that drill bit that is. Anyway, so I'm going to paint that, the rest of the paint sticks at the top. I first thought I was going to leave them brown, but I didn't like the stain look on them, so I just painted over the top of them with the black. You don't see where I tried to match up that with the, I guess I could have used it, but I didn't really like the color of the wax from Waverly. It didn't match exactly. I wish they'd come out with maybe some different colors in that wax. That would be great. But I mean, I know they got white and clear, but I wish they would come out with a different color brown, either a lighter or a darker. Listen to me, I'm losing my voice. All right, so I get that all painted, and I'm going to take me some rope, and I'm going to put a piece of tape on the end of it. And here in a minute, I guess I am, if I'd sit still long enough. Okay, so I took the blue painter's tape. It didn't matter what tape it is. And I'm making a pointy edge so it'll be like a needle, because when it goes through there, I need it to be not raveling out. And so that tape helps that happen. So I take it over there, and then I measure kind of out where I want it and tie me a big old knot in it, and then cut it off. And then I wrap the rope in an X pattern on the back, which, again, lost footage, my favorite thing. Sometimes when people call me, that's what happens. So you can see there where I've got the edges of all of that is rubbed off. Now, I love this sign. What do y'all think about it? Make sure to leave me some comments. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to check all the girls out on the playlist today. I'll list the playlist down below and the girls' channels. And hopefully we can get this technical difficulty taken care of by the next video. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.